I'm Randy Willis. I'm Eleanor's husband, and I was youth pastor there at First Baptist from 2006 to 2011.
Hi, I'm Carrie Davis, and I'm Guy and Venice's daughter, and I grew up in FBC Hondo.
Yeah, and we're here to talk to you a little bit about our efforts here in Houston as it pertains to Hurricane Harvey. And what I'm going to do is just ask these two individuals just a couple of questions that would be pertinent for you to understand the scope of what's going on here. So guys, let me start you off with this question. If FBC Hondo came, what are some things that could be done and that could be used?
So I'll start with saying that we need the word out to the area, to people who need help and they don't know who to call and they need free assistance, and maybe they don't have flood insurance and they just need help. And so we need able bodies ready to go to these homes and knock on doors and be able to ask and to give them help. And so really it's just boots on the ground and going and asking these tough questions to these hard areas.
Now, once we're getting the information from, that's called canvassing, once we get that information from canvassing, then we're trying to organize those needs of what they are and then filter through them, communicate with the homeowner, and find out, okay, what exactly do you need? So a few things, most of what we're getting right now is we're doing the cleaning process and cleaning out processes. We need furniture removed, we need carpet removed, we need wood flooring removed, we need sheetrock removed, we need help just kind of getting our life in order. And so we're doing a lot of those type of things and that's what we'll be doing mainly. But eventually, as a lot of you guys know already, once we get through that, once homeowners, if they have insurance, figure out how their insurance is going to help them financially, then the next thing that y'all could do that would be really super helpful, especially with as many skilled workers as y'all have there at the church, is go in and help those repairs to be done. Those who don't have the money to or don't have insurance to help them out with money, when you go in and do sheetrocking and baseboards and lay carpet or wood flooring if you need to kind of help them with the rebuilding process. And we also have a plethora of shelters all around the Houston area that are needing volunteers. We're kind of overwhelmed with volunteers for shelters right now, but in the next coming weeks and months, our volunteer base is going to dwindle, and those shelters are for people who had flood damage in their home and had to be rescued and pulled out of their house, and they can't go back to their homes until we clean them out and do those type of things. So they need donations, there's a long list of those supplies, as well as they need workers to volunteer at those shelters to help in different intervals throughout it. So those are a few things, but there's probably more, but those are probably the main basic things that we're doing here at our church.
All right, guys, that's great. What are some items, what are some things that FBC Hondo can bring when they come, if they were to come?
Yeah, so we have kits that we're beginning to assemble, and we're trying to organize that, so I can get you guys the exact list. But in our kits, one of the big needs that we have is these kind of clear tubs. You have the handles you can hold. We're putting all the different supplies we have in those kits, but we're running out of tubs. And these homes, a lot of people are trying to move their contaminated like kids' toys that we can clean and do that, but then we got to put them somewhere safe and dry. So those tubs are really helpful. Wheelbarrows would be amazing to have because we're just carrying everything out by hand, and it's kind of it can be challenging. So wheelbarrows would be a great thing. We have most of our tools for cleaning out and doing those kind of things. But if you wanted to buy, you could buy sheetrock. You could say, hey, we're gonna X amount of money, Randy, you send it to us. We'll get the sheetrock, have it at site. That would be crazy helpful. And what else can you think of, Carrie? Items to bring.
Trash bags, plenty of trash bags and gloves and bleach and cleaning supplies and shovels. That's what I would say.
All right. Now, if FBC Hondo was to come...
Oh, sorry, real quick. We also need a lot of goggles. We're running out of goggles. Every store we've gone to, some sort of eye protective gear. We can't find them anywhere. It's kind of getting really tough right now with that. So you can send those now if you like.
Yeah, awesome. If FBC Hondo does come, which we're fans of, what are some things they can do in those 3 to 4 days? What do you feel like it would be a success for FBC Hondo if they came?
What do you think?
I would say, as we call mucking here, what that means is just like going in and helping people gut their houses and completely get rid of the sheetrock where the water was, where it was contaminated. And that's a lot of brute force that needs to be done, and there's always plenty of that will need to be done. We're
cooking meals, so even if you're not into physical labor, that's not your spiritual gift, we understand that. There's plenty of those kind of people, and so we need help with cooking food, and like Carrie said, with canvassing and going, just talking to people and just loving on them, doing that. We also have childcare needs. some people that want to serve and do things here, but they have kids and they're staying at home all day with them. And it'd be nice to give them an opportunity to serve. And so yeah, even if you can't do the physical labor, the construction type stuff, there's plenty for everybody to do, no matter what your passions or skill sets might be.
Yeah, and the next question is, where do we stay? And I kind of think I can answer that, because I'm going to probably lead that up. We have kind of calculated today, for the most part, that we could ultimately host within our church members' homes about 100 people, between several homes. And so ideally what we'd love to do is provide a space for you to come and stay for free and not have an expense there. Meals we'd still have to work out, but that would be a great thing for y'all, is to not have to pay for staying somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, if you want something a little bit more private and accommodating, there's plenty of hotels all over the place that would love to have your business. I'm sure of that as well. But yeah, we could accommodate, even if we wanted to be a bigger group. Our church facility, eventually, not right now, but maybe in the coming months, is a possible place that we could host a group that could all stay together versus being spread apart. But yeah, if you have a group of 10 to 20, we could probably get most of them in 1 or 2 houses and make that really good. And some people in this row of people, not on this side, can make some really good breakfast and loves to cook and host. So yeah, we would love to have you at our house or Carrie's house or different places like that in our church.
Definitely. And the last question for you guys is, are there enough basics in place now, such as gasoline, food, and water?
What do you think? You would know better than we would.
Basics for the city?
No, for the volunteers coming.
Is there enough for them to come and survive here? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
I think so. They're starting to get supply trucks in. Even today, when I went to the store, there were more basics available. Absolutely. If you go on the main strips to get gas, you're probably going to be out of gas, but if you go off a block or two, you're going to get gas more than likely. I know that we've done that personally, so I don't have a fear of that, and it's only going to get better, honestly.
And again, a lot of it is hype and TV and the different things that are reported, which there is some reality. I mean, a few days ago, it was kind of apocalyptic and really hard to get gas and food in some places, but now, it's definitely getting better.
Yeah, the lines are definitely dwindling down for those kind of things.
Yeah, well, that, I wouldn't worry about that. I know you're seeing on TV, but keep in mind, Houston is a very, very, very large city, and there's a lot of things. So you might get 20 things reported, but there's 200 things going on you don't see about, and so you'd be more than fine with that.
Yeah. And that's it. That's all I have to talk about today. We hope and encourage y'all to pray and think it through, but we selfishly would love to see y'all here in Houston.
Absolutely.
And have a mini reunion and do missions together again. That would be awesome. But thanks, guys.
Appreciate you guys. Look forward to hearing back from you soon.
Bye.
Bye.